Welcome to the Campaign Planning course. By the end of this course, you will be able to define what a campaign is, explain what campaign planning is, and describe the 8 campaign planning phases. Let's define campaign. In a marketing context, campaigns are a set of clearly defined communication measures or tactics that all pursue the same communication goal. Campaigns are launched either to obtain and secure revenue, stabilize sales volume and revenue in critical phases, or to conquer new markets. Since campaigns are communication measures, they target communication goals which can either be cognitive, those that raise perception and attention for a product or service, affective, those that raise interest or changes attitudes, or conative, those that strengthen purchase or repurchase intention. You may have heard the term AIDA, or attention, interest, desire, action. This is a popular model that describes how advertising works. Campaigns attempt to influence attention, raise interest, or elicit desire, all in an effort to, hopefully, make the consumer take action and make a purchase. The campaign, also known as program or project, is the set of organized strategic efforts which promote a single marketing priority. This is often aimed at reaching a particular geography or business unit. The campaign features a common message with shared assets and is really the strategic bracket of a variety of tactics. What are tactics? Tactics, also called measures or commonly activities, bring the campaign message via different channels or touchpoints. Think media, social media, or out of home as channel examples, to the target audience. Tactics are designed to evoke the expected reaction of the target audience and include advertising materials such as TVC, print, digital ads, billboards, etc. In summary, the campaign defines the strategic message, and the tactics are the vehicles that deliver that message through various channels. Now that we've learned what a campaign is, let's describe campaign planning. Campaign planning is a complex, multidimensional planning task that requires the collaboration of many internal and external marketing experts, with the goal of delivering the campaign message to the target audience through defined communication channels. Ultimately, campaign planning is the strategic communication task that needs to be carefully planned. A typical campaign planning process can be divided into 8 phases. 1. Budget approval received. All planning starts with the approval of the marketing budgets for the next fiscal year. 2. Define objectives and results. Analyze the communication goals in preparation for the campaign briefing. 3. Define campaign briefing. Define the campaign strategy in terms of goals, target audience, message, reasoning, including reason why and benefit, timing, expected launch date, channels and form, and tonality. 4. Develop campaign concept. The campaign concept describes how the campaign will be set up. It contains creative ideas and milestone planning. 5. Plan channels, also known as media planning. Define the channels and touchpoints answering the where, communication channels and touchpoints, and when, frequency to reach the target audience. 6. Create advertising materials. Depending on selected channels, advertising material must be produced and provided per channel or touchpoint. 7. Launch preparation. Inform sales teams, book media, and set up campaign monitoring. 8. Post-launch campaign evaluation. After launch, prepare for KPI evaluation. Track and report results. The first phase of campaign planning begins with the approval of the marketing budget for the next fiscal year. Budget allocation is determined by the goals a company would like to achieve with marketing spending. If cost discipline is key, then the marketing budget is often defined as fixed percentage of the expected revenue for the next fiscal year. The budget is given top-down and can only be exceeded when revenue increases. Another variant of budget allocation is determined by the achievement of specific performance goals, for example, to achieve a specific revenue. In that case, the budget is flexible and will be planned bottom-up, focusing on activities that promise the targeted ROI. In both ways, the budget will be adjusted several times a year, following the goals. The campaign planner can first estimate the financial need for each campaign very roughly and negotiate the target campaign lump sum with the CMO. The approved lump sum per campaign then serves as the preliminary guideline for spending. Once the campaign budget is approved, the campaign planning in detail can start. The second phase in campaign planning is to define objectives and results. Once the budget is approved, the actual content work can start with careful analysis of the communication goal. In this example, we can see the overarching strategic marketing goals have been outlined, and based on these, the detailed communication goals have been described. Depending on the communication goal, the responsible campaign planner defines the appropriate campaign type that is suitable to achieve the specific communication goal. A campaign typically focuses on one communication goal. Take the to keep a top-of-mind positioning among core target group goal. We can identify that brand, or image, would be the appropriate campaign for this goal. Once the campaign type is identified, the target group/market is selected. In summary, in this phase we define what we want to achieve by identifying the communication goal, what type of campaign best suits that goal, and then we choose whom to address our campaign to. The third phase of campaign planning is defining the campaign brief. The campaign brief is the key task in every campaign planning process. It defines the tasks for the agency in a well-structured manner. Campaign briefing can be divided into two main sections. The first section serves to answer the who and the what, while the second section addresses the why, the where, the when, and the how. Who? This question serves to identify the target audience and the target markets for our campaign. Detailed persona descriptions are identified for each target. What? What goal must be achieved? For communication goals, is there a need to increase awareness or knowledge, or are you looking to polish brand image? Indirectly, the marketing goals are also identified. For example, attracting new groups or expanding into new markets. Why? Why should the target audience respond? The why is always about the benefit. It is important to explain the promises as well as defining the main reason to buy or to trust a brand. The proof of the benefit promise should also be given in the campaign. Where? Where do you reach the target audience? Define the communication channels and/or touch points you want to use to spread your message. When? When do we launch the campaign? Define the date when the campaign will be launched in market, which is crucial for reverse timeline planning. How? What are the communication guidelines? Focus on tonality or defining the way of addressing tone, speed, degree of severity, etc. The fourth phase of campaign planning is developing the campaign concept. This describes how the campaign will be set up and usually contains the creative idea, key message, reasoning, and key visuals, as well as milestone planning. Think retrograde scheduling. The fifth stage of campaign planning is planning channels where the different touchpoints are identified and the question of where, think communication channels and touchpoints, as well as when, or the frequency, to reach the target audience are determined. Planning channels can sometimes be referred to as media planning. However, this definition is too narrow in scope as it can neglect the need to plan for other customer touchpoints besides media. This phase is about selecting the most effective channels and touchpoints that the target audience typically attend. While the number of these touchpoints have exploded in the last 20 years, the media budget hasn't necessarily done so. Thus, the selection of the appropriate channels is given to media agencies who are the experts in evaluating the best return on investment strategy. Based on the agency's recommendation, this task is about finding the best communication mix. The planned channels and touchpoints are the roads and routes which bring the campaign message to the target audience. The sixth phase of campaign planning is to create the advertising material based on the selected channels. Up to this step, everything has just been paperwork. However, now, the time has arrived for the creatives to bring the vision to life in the form of advertising material that can be distributed throughout the channels and touchpoints. The creating of advertising material is often collaborative work. The lead creative agency who developed the campaign idea provides a set of advertising material templates. These are tailored for the specific channel and serve as a blueprint. This ensures a consistent message is spread to the target audience. For international campaign rollouts, the campaign templates are shared with production agencies in all markets where the campaign is being launched. The seventh phase of campaign planning is launch preparation. In this phase, all internal stakeholders, especially the sales org, is informed about the campaign. In the cases where your products are being sold by retailers, they will need to be informed about the campaign at this time as well. Additionally, it is now time to book the media and set up the metrics and parameters that will be used for the campaign monitoring. The final phase of campaign planning is post-launch campaign evaluation. After launch, we prepare for KPI evaluation and track and report results. The campaign planning process should always include the definition of metrics that will allow the planner to measure the performance of the campaign. While this should be a requirement, it often isn't. Identifying which metrics are the most appropriate depends on the communication goal of the campaign and the ability to provide answers. In the case of a brand campaign, pursuing the goal of increasing awareness for brand XYZ requires the measurement of awareness before and after the campaign, which is not always an easy or reliable task. Product campaigns are more practical and hands-on and often have the indirect goal of increasing sales. In this example, we can measure the sales tactics before and then measure them again after the activity or tactic was implemented. Thank you for completing the campaign planning course. In this course, we have defined campaign and campaign planning and navigated through the 8 campaign planning phases.